Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Haven't spent a lot of time recently on the state and play of the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, a hot button issue over the summer. Want to talk about Kevin Dotson, the left guard of the Pittsburgh Steelers. This guy's talented. I know he has potential, and in moments he flashes it. But I don't think there's any Steeler that frustrates me more on this team than Kevin Dotson, knowing what he could be and the potential that he has. Let's talk about that frustration today. Going to focus mostly on pass protection. Here is Kevin Dotson against the 3-tech number 93 on this play, and you just see a guy who's doubling over and just so inconsistent with his technique. And although this, I guess, overall gets the job done, it sure isn't pretty. And to an extent, an offensive lineman is just about getting the job done, but you see a guy really lunging here and just not playing technically sound. And you do that enough at this level, at the highest level, you're going to lose. And so to watch this one through, trying to punch here, overextended, real heavy waist bender here, and the 93 is kind of able to swim over the top. And again, with the defensive end dropping here, Moore's able to kind of give a little bit of help, or at least potential help, but just does not look clean, not the way that you want it to be coached for a situation where Dotson should be technically sound with eyes up, and just an ugly rep overall. This one probably has a bit more uncertainty and debate with it. I think it might look a little bit worse than it actually is, but let me run this play through. One of the sacks that Kenny Pickett had in this game, watching Kevin Dotson, the left guard here, just not finding work, not finding any help at all on this play. And so when you're uncovered as an offensive lineman, you're looking for work, you're looking for help, and you see the Saints run here between the linebacker and the right defensive end, and Kenny Pickett takes a blindside hit behind him. Luckily, holds onto the football here. Good job by Kenny Pickett. But watching this one through, generally the rule for offensive linemen is the first uncovered starts the slide. And so I understand Dotson sliding to his right with the way the nose tackle's covering up the center. And that's something the Saints did prior to this game. We talked about that in our scouting report. And so I understand, some people will say, well, why didn't Dotson block the linebacker and Moore take the end? First uncovered, starting the slide, trying to give your center who's head up kind of a tough matchup some help there. I get that. But as you watch this one through, you're seeing Dotson have that drag hand to kind of feel some backside pressure. Nothing there initially, but as this D-tackle spikes away on this play, I don't know why Dotson's not going to get his eyes back to the left. And again, at least be looking for work, looking for options. Has to kind of feel there's no rush there. So are they running a game? Is there something happening to this left side? Never gets his eyes that way. Is looking to the right side where he's not going to be able to give Mason Cole any help. And you're seeing the struggle here on this left side. Dotson could have provided some assistance to prevent the sack here. And so to run this one through, you see the big hit here that Kenny Pickett takes. And so again, understanding why Dotson slid here initially, I think that's okay. But at some point, you have to look for work, help somebody out. The only guy not doing really anything on this play. And so that's where you need Dotson to kind of play a bit outside of the structure, outside of the call. Right guard James Daniels does a great job overall of finding work and looking for help and being physical and giving his centers and tackles a lot of assistance. You see that on this play here. Just a quick note, Chuck Wilmer-Corf using a chase down block. I've not seen that much from Pittsburgh this year, but against some of these wider aligned defensive linemen, you're going to see a really ultra aggressive set going forward. Call that a chase down block from offensive line coach Pat Meyer, and that's why this one probably gets a little bit messy. A core 4 setting extra to the outside, knowing that Daniels is helping him to the inside. So just want to look at that here briefly. I know that's off the topic from Kevin Dotson, but I do want to point that out here. A core 4 chase down block on, you'll see in the frame here in a moment, the defensive end. But again, going back to Kevin Dotson, just not providing any sort of help or assistance and not looking for work, and ultimately, I think it's partially why this play results in a sack. Truthfully, though, the play that frustrated me the most in this game is this snap, this rep right here. And at first glance, it doesn't look great, but it probably doesn't look as bad as some of the others. Seeing the pressure that he allows here, okay, it probably looks kind of bad, but watching this one through, it actually frustrates me more about the technique initially off the snap of the football than the mere fact that he lost this rep. This is going to be an off-body set here by the 3-tech, lined up with that inside leg to the outside of Dotson's outside foot. So we call that an off-body set. And so in this situation, what Dotson needs to do, as instructed by offensive line coach Pat Meyer, is take a flat set, not give ground. Pat Meyer's whole thing is be aggressive, burst significant contact, and never, ever, in most situations, I should say, give ground, concede, and pass protection. But watching Dotson on the snap here, what does he do? Gives ground, backs up, and that's going to put him into a bad place based on how Pat Meyer teaches this thing. And so he needs to set flat instead of taking some steps backward. He's trying to be a little too passive, timid. I don't want to get beat. Let me try to give some ground. And that actually is counterproductive because it increases your chances of getting beat here. So just a bad set overall, just kind of watching. There's his feet right here. You can kind of see them go backwards where my cursor is at, and you see him giving ground, and that should not be happening. And that's a big reason why he lost this rep. Again, doubling over. He's a very heavy bender at the waist, not at the knees. He's a very inconsistent in pass protection. And you see just an incorrect off-body set here. Watch the feet go backwards just a little bit, a step or two. But again, needs to be setting flat here. Center slide away. Off-body, flat set. Does not make good contact overall. Doubles over as the tackle. Kind of pushes him and swims past him here and allows that pressure on Kenny Pickett. And maybe that prevented Pickett from hitting Pickens down the seam here. Not quite sure, but obviously results in the sack, and that is on Kevin Dotson. Pickett winding up like he wants to try to squeeze his throw to Pickens. Feels that pressure. Don't know for sure if that caused it or not, but it certainly could have, and it definitely results in a sack. All right, I've beat up on Kevin Dotson enough, and the reason why I say he frustrates me is not because I think he's a terrible player that can't hang or play or succeed in the NFL. He was just a bad player. I wouldn't be frustrated by that fact. I would just go, he's a bad player. You're going to get bad results. That's not a surprise. There is quality tape that Dotson shows. Athletically, physically, he's big, he's strong, he's athletic, and when it comes together, this guy has some really impressive reps, both in pass pro and in the run game. As a run blocker, I won't even show any clips here, but this guy certainly can move people from point A to point B in the run game. Pass pro here against the defensive tackle, 99. You see that strength, you see that anchor, nice execution of the Pat Meyer taught hop step here to defend bull rush, stall that thing out. That is a great rep by Kevin Dotson. Good first contact here, refitting his hands, inside, hop step, stall out the bull, keep your pocket clean for your quarterback to take a look at it from the aerial view here. Watching him refit that outside hand inside, good control, bull rush, hop step, stall it out. Does a nice job there in run blocking. You see some of those flashes when he can, be able to get a push at the first level. He can move in space. So just overall, you see enough good that makes you want to see more and try to make it work, but you see so much frustration, so much bad with his technique, overall play, and consistency. That is the reason why I get so frustrated with Kevin Dotson. And frankly, if I'm Omar Khan, if I'm Andy Weidel, the first place I look to upgrade this offseason is going to be left guard, because Dotson, although still a relatively young guy, year 3, never been a full starter over the course of a 16 or 17 game season, I just don't know if it's all going to come together for this guy. If I have a chance to really find a stud left guard, that's where I'm starting to improve and upgrade this Steelers offensive line. So those are my thoughts and vents and frustrations with Kevin Dotson, a player with potential, with ability, but just does not always seem to realize that. So let me know your thoughts on Kevin Dotson and the Steelers offensive line in the comments below. If you were in charge of upgrading and retooling and tweaking this Steelers offensive line, where would you start? Would it be at left guard or left tackle or center or somewhere else? Please let me know in the comments below. If you guys could like this video, I would appreciate that. And also subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that as well. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.